much for watching. So today I'm doing a tutorial for you featuring one of my favorite palettes. I'm gonna link my review and swatches video of this palette. It's very in-depth and I'm gonna link it down below for you. But anyway, this tutorial is featuring this palette. I do my lips, my blush, my eyes, and my eyebrows all with this palette. So yeah, you can definitely get a lot of use out of this. This look is all about complementary colors. And the eye is using a lot of cool tones. So in the future, I'm going to be doing tutorials using the warm tones and the neutrals in this palette as well. But for now, this is a nice, colorful, complementary kind of look. So I really hope you enjoy it. Please remember to subscribe if you want to see more tutorials and reviews by me. And yeah, if you want to learn how to achieve this look, please keep on watching. Okay, so I'm gonna start by doing the eyebrows. There's a perfect eyebrow shade, at least for me, in this palette, and it's B3. It's a little bit mauvey, but sometimes I find that brow powders that are like taupier and have like a little bit, like the slightest bit of purple in them, work better for brows that are cool toned versus like more brown. So I'm gonna just take that on an angled brush and fill in my brows. Okay, so my brows are all done. I also forgot to mention that I'm already wearing just a thin layer of foundation and some concealer over my blemishes. I haven't done under eye concealer and stuff yet. I haven't really put anything around my eyes yet because I'm going to be working with colorful eyeshadows, which can get messy, so I don't want that to mess up my concealer under my eyes. So for the eyeshadow, I'm going to start off with a NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil. That's what I usually do when I'm using colorful eyeshadows, and I usually wear this over like a clearish eye primer. The NYX Milk is not crease proof, so basically this acts as a color base while I have the primer underneath to act as like a crease proof. Okay, so I'm just drawing that all over the lid. Be very gentle, not like I'm doing it. And then I'm gonna blend it out with like a plasticky concealer brush or eyeshadow brush, as long as it's synthetic. And using a white color base is gonna make the bright colors that we put on top of this really vibrant. I want the majority of it on the lid, but I do blend what's left of it up to the brow bone. Okay, so now that the color base is down, I'm gonna go back in with a color from the palette. It's actually my favorite color. It is B2. It's like an icy light turquoise. So I'm just gonna pat that on with my finger, actually, all over the lid. Like half a patting motion and half a sweeping motion. I don't really know how to describe it, but I feel like that deposits the most color when you're working with your finger. Whenever I want to get like a really high color payoff on the lid, I just pat it on with my finger and then do all the blending work with the brushes. Okay, cool. So then I'm gonna take a fluffy blending brush. This is my Inglot. It's the 4SS brush. And then I'm gonna actually go in with the same shade that we used for the brows, and I'm going to use that as my transition color. I'm just going to tap it really lightly. Normally I'd use like a brown powder for this job, but since I'm working with cool toned eyeshadows, I'm using more of a gray transition color. And just do that in windshield wiper motions. Don't put on a lot. Okay, so now I'm going to take an e.l.f. shader brush. It's just kind of like a flat eyeshadow brush. And then I'm gonna take C1, this really light whitish gold color, and I'm gonna use that as my brow highlight. I'm just gonna take it on one side of the brush because then I'm gonna use the other side to redo the blue in a sec. I keep looking up because like every time I use this palette as a mirror, I cover my face with it and then no one can see what I'm doing. I'm honestly still like getting used to filming myself doing my makeup. It's actually like a really different experience than doing your makeup privately, I guess, like in front of like a big mirror or whatever. So yeah, like I totally welcome any feedback on like the style of my videos. I've been trying out a few different styles, but yeah, like just let me know if you have anything to say. Prefer you say it gently if it's negative, but yeah, I welcome feedback. So I'm just taking the blending brush from before and making sure the transition between the crease and the brow bone is smooth with no harsh lines. And then I'm going to take the e.l.f. shader brush again on that icy turquoise color, and just use the other side of the brush. And we're going to pat that in again, just to make it more vibrant and to put a little more shadow on there to blend up into the crease the slightest bit. And I'm going to do that blending again with this brush. I'm going to just tap it a little bit into that shade and go over the crease. Okay, so then I'm going to take a pinched blending brush. The Sigma E25 works for that. This one's by MAC, but I purchased this before I went cruelty free, so get the Sigma one. So then I'm going in with C2 right here, and I'm just going to touch it a little bit on the edge of the brush. Tap off the excess. Make sure you do that with this shade because it is really fallouty. And I'm just gonna put it and wiggle it in the outer corner right here. I can't get like the color payoff that I want sometimes with this palette. Because once you start blending, like the other colors fade, but that's very common, honestly, for bright colored eyeshadows anyway. It's just frustrating. So I'm gonna go back and redo the lid in a sec. Okay, so one more time, you know what, I'm just gonna blend that first, and then I'm gonna do the lid again last to make sure that it doesn't fade when I blend. Okay, so I'm taking the e.l.f. shader brush again one last time with that icy turquoise color and just patting it. Oh, and then I gotta blend again. What was I thinking? Okay. Okay, and just blend so lightly, so lightly. So that is the eyeshadow. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do top eyeliner and mascara. I'll be right back. I'm back. So I did my eyeliner, mascara. Did you just, why am I speaking with an accent? So I did my eyeliner and my mascara. I also added a little bit of contour. If you'd like to see tutorials on my eyeliner or how I contour, please leave it in the comments down below and I will do so, but for time's sake I didn't include it in this tutorial. So now what I'm going to do is put some under eye concealer on and blend it out with my Real Technique sponge.
I'm also putting it in other places besides my under eye area.
Okay, and I use that in a lighter shade to give me a nice highlight, kind of like Kim Kardashian. Now what I'm going to do is take a NYX HD Studio finishing powder, and it's a translucent loose powder, and I'm just going to use that to set my under eye concealer real quick. Okay, so now I'm going to finish the eyes. For the under eye area, if I'm going to use an eyeshadow, sometimes I like to use an eyeliner underneath. So thankfully I have this Turquoise eye pencil by Catrice, and it's the same color pretty much as what's on my lids. So I'm just going to put that both in the waterline and a little bit under the waterline. I'm going to take my e.l.f. shader brush again, and I'm gonna go back into that icy blue color, just give it a little tap, and I'm gonna set that eyeliner. I'm not putting any powder in the waterline, I don't like to do that, but you could do that. I'm just putting it like on the lower lash line. I'm gonna quickly put on some bottom mascara. I'm not putting on too much. I don't want the bottom lash line to be super dramatic. I kind of want the emphasis to be on the turquoise, like I said before. So just put on enough to make them visible. The blush, I'm going to apply the middle cheek stain. It's called First Officer. And I'm going to apply it with a Real Technique stippling brush. This stippling brush is a good brush to apply this product with as a blush because number one, it is very plasticky, it's synthetic bristles, so those are best for applying cream products because the brush won't break down over time. Also, a stippling brush gives you a lot of control with how much product you deposit because it deposits less product. So here we go. I'm just kind of tapping it twice very lightly. I'm just smiling.
See, it's very pigmented, so that's part of the reason I wanted to use the stippling brush.
Okay, and I'm just going to take my foundation sponge and just pat it over the apple of the cheek a bit because I applied a bit too much. Okay, and just putting a little bit over here as well. On like right here and right here on the forehead. Okay, so that's the blush. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. So that's the blush. I think the orange tones in it look really nice against the bluish eyeshadow. So now we're gonna use the same cream product for our lips. I'm just gonna do that with any old a lip brush or a concealer brush, whatever, who cares. And using that shade again.
You kind of have to build it if you want to get a lot of color. Yeah.
Okay, so once you build it up, it actually gives like a really nice color to your lips. I'm really pleased with the way it came out, but I just want it to be a little bit more orange. So I'm going to take, oh, they finally came today in the mail. They're the NYX Macaron Lippies. And I'm gonna take this one in Orange Blossom, number 02. And I'm gonna do like a full swatch and review on these real soon, but here's a sneak peek. So yeah, it's just like a kind of yellow orange shade, but I'm just gonna add a little bit of it to the center of my lips just to make them a little more orangey. And this is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This is like my favorite look to do with the palette pretty much, besides the warm toned look, which I'll also do real soon. But yeah, this is like my favorite color in the palette, this turquoise color, and I love that it is complemented by the First Officer cream shade so well. So yeah, I just really like this combination. I hope you liked it as well. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed this tutorial and if you want to see more tutorials from me. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye!